back to yet another episode of Between You and Me. Today is episode 12, our second episode of the second part of season 6. I don't have too many updates for you guys today. Not much has really been going on in my life because I did just record the episode of last week. So it's only been a week and nothing really has happened for me other than just working hard. I want to get into this episode and what we are planning to talk about today. I am actually a bit excited to speak about it because I feel very passionate about a few of these things and I want to lead you guys in the right direction. You know what I mean? Like, I make these podcast episodes, one, because I want to help you guys, obviously, when it comes to things like people who are struggling with their mental health, people who have relationship issues or issues with friends, issues with family. I like to give advice, which I don't know what that says about me, but I do very much like giving advice. That's not to say that I'm always correct, but I think at the time when I speak about something that I'm definitely speaking from my heart and I'm definitely speaking about my current mindset in that moment. Once again, that doesn't mean my mindset's going to stay like this forever. Who knows? We all change. But my point being is I do like to help you guys. And this specific episode that I thought of is very much catered towards helping you guys. What I'm getting at here is I'm going to speak about 10 things that I have outgrown, habits that I've outgrown, things in my life that I've let go of, that I think are very, very beneficial. And when I say I want to help you guys, I think everyone should get on the same bandwagon as me and join me. Because these 10 things specifically are definitely good things, good habits to get rid of. You should definitely, in your 20s, be letting go of these habits, be letting go of these things, and be looking for better things to replace them with. I think reassessing your lifestyle, the way that you will go about things, how you speak to people, how you take care of yourself, things like that tend to be very important, especially at this age, because when we start transitioning into our 20s, we're very much in our big girl era. It's time to crack down. It's time to take things seriously. It's time to let go of things that are a waste of time, that don't matter anymore. But for anyone who is interested to know what 10 things I have left in the past and or am doing now, like I'm currently leaving certain things in the past and working on not entertaining certain things anymore, then keep listening. The first habit that I've left in the past is not getting enough sleep. I don't know what your guys' algorithm looks like, but I nonstop get these like health TikToks, health Instagram reels pop up on my feed all the time. So I'm constantly seeing and hearing the words, women need to get 8 to 9 hours of sleep a night, and sometimes more. Sometimes I hear we need more sleep. And as a teenager in my early 20s, I for sure didn't give a rat's ass about sleep. I never prioritized it. My sleep schedule has been horrible up until I want to say the past year. I've never ever, counted the amount of hours that I sleep per night. But I also never really needed to because I would oversleep and I just would go to bed super late, wake up super late, waste hella time during the day. There's an unfathomable amount of benefit to starting to take your sleep schedule seriously. In my personal life, being able to go to bed at a reasonable time and feel actually refreshed and good in the morning has improved my mental health to such a high degree. And it's crazy because throughout, like a couple years ago, I would complain all the time, since I always worked at home, at the fact that I would wake up super late. I wasn't able to get started on work early enough. And in the back of my mind, I had always known like, okay, yeah, a proper sleep schedule of like going to bed at 10, 11, waking up at 7, 8 in the morning would really help me out. But as much as I tried and I tried and I tried to do that, I couldn't. The only thing, and this is a little bit sad that I couldn't do that, but the only thing that allowed me to do that was getting up for a job that I couldn't be late for. Ever since I had to go into an office, I do social media marketing for another company, I have had to bust my ass to reschedule my life and get myself, I literally start winding down at 9 p.m. now. Sometimes not, but I try because I love to have my relaxation time before bed. So I start winding down early. I start getting into bed. I make tea every single night. I've turned into a grandma, not gonna lie, but I love it because then I can do fun stuff on the weekend. I'll maybe one night of the week, I'll do something, it just feels balanced. It feels good. I really like having a proper sleep schedule. Prioritizing my sleep has allowed me to feel an drastic amount of coordination almost. I'm in control of my life. I don't let sleep take me over anymore or anything like that, because now that I've gotten to the rhythm of being up a couple more hours earlier, it would be hard for me to get up at 11 sometimes, which is dramatic. But now that I've gotten into the rhythm of it, it feels natural. My body wakes me up earlier, when I'm getting tired earlier, yeah, it just feels great. I'm just happy. I'm happy to have a better grasp on my sleep schedule. Besides the obvious mental health improvements, it's also extremely important for your physical health. Just having that time frame for your body to recoup. Your sleep is very important when it comes to your immunity, other things like that. I have definitely been struggling a little bit more with my health, which I will talk about in the next couple habits that I've ditched. But this also is very beneficial for anything that has to do with your health. Okay. All right. On to the next habit that I've ditched. The next one is poor eating habits. These are all related, and then we're going to start going into other ones. So just so you know, I have definitely paid a lot more attention to what I eat, what I consume, and not in a negative way, because I feel like a lot of people would assume, oh, you pay attention to what you eat, you must be on a diet, you must be counting your calories, you must be doing this and doing that. Absolutely not. I have never counted calories, even if I wanted to, because I just am so lazy. What a task to count all the calories that are going into your body. I could never. But what I am a lot more aware of is the crap that I eat. That is one thing that is very, very front and center in my mind. When I talked about health issues, I talked about this a little bit on YouTube, but my doctor has recently diagnosed me with PCOS. Only on my left ovary for some reason. I didn't know that was a thing, but I guess it kind of makes sense. Only one of the ovaries has cysts. But although I am not super confident in the diagnosis, I think there is some truth to it. I definitely have cysts that I've known for a while, but I don't know if it's necessarily PCOS. Regardless, it is a hormone imbalance that I'm pretty aware of based on my symptoms. So your diet plays such a big part into it. A big, big, big part of PCOS has to do with your sugar intake. And I've been very conscious of the unhealthy carbs that I'm eating. Not pastas and bread and things like that. I know those to some people are considered unhealthy. I'm talking about McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, Burger King, things like that, true garbage. Empty carbs, chips, things that are just no nutritional value, taste good, kind of sometimes, honestly. But don't really do anything for you. Anything that is made in my kitchen, I'll feel happy about eating. But when it comes to true garbage, that's where I have really made an effort to not eat. Ditching the fast food, ditching the unhealthy food is not easy. And it's also not something that I've stopped completely. But it is 1000% something that I have slowed down on drastically. As a teenager, oh my gosh, almost every couple days, I would go to Tim Hortons for lunch. I would get a wrap, I would get a donut, I would get this, I would get that. When you're a teenager, you don't really think about it. Honestly, for me personally, my diet didn't even cross my mind. As a teenager, I was always underweight, so eating even unhealthy stuff didn't matter to me because I'm like, oh, if I gain weight, who cares? That's what I want. Little did I take into perspective just my overall health, even though, gaining weight is fine, but gaining weight through eating garbage, not really good for you. So dropping the habit of continuously thinking, let's go for the easier, yummy option, which is buying food, buying takeout, has really helped my bank account, but also has helped just my overall feeling good. I also feel like when you're a teenager, you don't maybe notice as much how the food affects your body. Recently, I got Chick-fil-A on the way home from work. And like I said, I haven't cut out fast food 100%, but I definitely have slowed down on it. I was starving to the point where I thought, I'm going to pass out if I don't get food on my way home. And what was right next to my work? Chick-fil-A. So I stopped, and I haven't gone Chick-fil-A for 5 years, by the way. And my sister and my boyfriend always get Chick-fil-A. So I was like, okay, fuck it. I'm just going to try some Chick-fil-A. I just want to see what the hype's all about. Because the last time I got Chick-fil-A, I can't even remember it, and I don't even remember it being good. I got some chicken nuggets, whatever. It was delicious. Honestly, it was so good. It was exactly what I wanted in that moment. It was perfect. But I got home that day. I relaxed. I was in bed. I felt nauseous for the rest of the day. I don't know. Something about it doesn't sit right. I do feel like Chick-fil-A is better than a McDonald's or something. But regardless, don't fill your body up with all this garbage all the time. It's not needed. It's not necessary. Sometimes you just need to put a little bit more effort, prep your meals, figure out what you want to eat for the week, cook something, buy groceries. Don't always order out. Paying attention to what you eat is going to make such a big difference in the way that your body feels, when it comes to your energy levels, when it comes to how much you can get done in the day. If you're fueled up with good food, it's going to make you feel better. It's also going to make a big difference on how you look, your skin elasticity. If anything, I've become a little bit too hyper aware of what I eat in terms of oh my God, is this good for this? Is this good for this? I'm seeing recipes on juices for skin elasticity to help you feel youthful and stuff like that. It's just okay. Sometimes it gets a little excessive. We don't need all that. But just paying a good general attention to what you eat and not consuming as much junk is definitely something to do. And poor eating habits is definitely something to outgrow. Okay, so the last in this kind of genre of health and wellness is exercise. I feel like I've talked about this in a couple episodes, but I have never been an athletic person in my life. I've never been good at any sports. I was a cheerleader for a couple years when I was 13, 14. I wasn't very good at it, but I was a cheerleader. So whatever, my whole life, I've never had any exercise experience, which is not good, to be honest. It's a little bit embarrassing. Up until the past couple years, 2022, I started to go to the gym. Starting off, it was a very daunting, scary experience because I really didn't know anything. I had zero experience in just equipment, exercise, muscle groups, anything. So my journey in exercise was really based solely off of aesthetics at that point and working out to look a certain way. Over time, my mindset on exercise and my practice of exercise has changed so much from no exercise at all to exercising for aesthetic purposes to now exercising for my health and wellness and also still aesthetics, don't get me wrong. But like my relationship with exercise has changed a lot. I've started off with more so weight training, but then I wasn't eating enough, so I wasn't really gaining any muscle to the point where I stopped weight training for a while. I just did cardio, I was walking, and then I started eating really well. I started to gain weight, and now I'm weight training again, and I'm eating well, and I'm gaining muscle, and I'm gaining weight. And like there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot behind it. Having muscle in your body is also the biggest burner of sugars for PCOS, if anyone struggles with that. So I don't know, there's so much, and having left the habit of not exercising and not caring about exercise has 10 out of 10 changed my life. And not to inspire anyone, but I did also meet my boyfriend at the gym. So, I mean, what more could I ask for? Now that we've gotten the health and wellness out of the way, which I feel like I yapped about, the next thing and habit that I have ditched and no longer cater my life to anymore is needing constant validation from other people. Specifically, I want to say social media, because I grew up chronically online, and I got, and still do, unfortunately, a little bit, so much validation from social media. I feel like now it's more related to success in terms of validation, but in the past I would relate like my self-esteem to social media, and I would really like pay attention to who thought I was pretty, who thought I looked good in this picture. There's a level that I would go to like portray myself in a certain way, because I guess at that time I didn't feel very pretty, or I didn't feel very attractive to people. So when I was able to do my makeup or like pose in a certain way, or like whatever, add some filters or something like that, and I would post it and I would get that validation from others, and I would love it. I would eat that shit up. And by the way, I'm talking about like when I was in high school. I definitely got rid of that attribute a little earlier on than these other ones, but I definitely was unconsciously needing this validation from my followers, from the people that watched me. And it was so to the fact where like I would edit, I don't want to expose myself, but I would edit certain parts of my body. I would smooth out my skin with some, what's the app called? Facetune. I'd Facetune little pimples off my face. I also have scoliosis, and sometimes in pictures, like you could like see like my rib poking out or something. So I would like blur that because I didn't want people to see it. It's just like, it makes me sad to think that I did that. But I mean, I guess a lot of people did that too. But I was definitely searching, begging for the validation of others. And also at that time, I was single, had never had a boyfriend, didn't really have a lot of male attention, which makes us even more sad because it wasn't just validation from others, it was validation from men too, which is gross. But you know, I think we were all there at some point. We were 16 and 17. And I'm happy to announce I've definitely ditched that habit. I have outgrown that. It's something that has luckily come naturally to me. It has maybe also come naturally in a sense of like, I don't crave male validation at all anymore because I've just come to love myself without it, you know? And therefore, I feel like my beauty isn't as important. Yeah, do we get it? Do we get where I'm going with that? I feel like I don't have to overindulge on this subject too much. I feel like it makes sense, hopefully. Okay, this is the next one that is very important to me, very near and dear to my heart. Something that I have outgrown is taking time with loved ones for granted. I definitely had a time frame in my life where I prioritized going out with my friends. I prioritized my relationship, just like basically anything over some kind of plan with my family. I think this definitely happens to a lot of us in our teenage years, but even going into my early 20s, I think I was also like that. I didn't really see my family a lot. Everyone was working every single day. I would have like evenings with them sometimes. I'd have weekends with them sometimes. But I never made the intentional time to prioritize with them, to plan like, hey, let's go do this together, or hey, let's go do that. You know, it was not ever on my mind really, which is like crazy to say. And I feel bad saying, because obviously now I don't feel like that, but I don't want to feel guilty about it, because I think we all have a phase where we're very self-centered to a certain extent, and this stuff that's going in our life takes up so much of our mind that we don't, think past that. But I have definitely adapted the way that I think about time with my family. It's one of the most important things to me now. And I have so much fun when I see my family. My family has also grown a lot because my sister has a baby. It's so much fun. Honestly, I love it. My sister was just over today. She comes over really often with my niece, and my niece is turning 1 soon, and she's in the cutest phase, like literally so freaking adorable. My point being, I have definitely grown such a love, such an appreciation for the time that I get to spend with my family. I'm obsessed with them. I love them. And your parents don't get any younger. So when you get the chance to spend with them, to make memories with them, to do whatever it is you have the ability to, do it. And also, this doesn't necessarily apply for everyone who might not have good relationships with their parents or siblings, but if there is family out there that you have, grandparents, aunts and uncles, siblings, whatever it might be, people that you consider parents, people that have raised you, make time to spend with them and don't neglect that, because I think if there's anything that you might regret in your future, it's not spending time with the people that you love. Okay, next one is putting up with toxic behavior. Specifically, what I wanted to talk about is inconsistent friendships. I have had my fair share of people in my life that have been really inconsistent. They have not prioritized me. They have not put me as high of a level as I have put them in terms of my friendships. I feel like if you're not communicating why you're not able to give your friend the same amount of energy that they're giving you, if you're not making it clear where you stand in the friendship, if you're treating them a little shitty, if you're not inviting them to certain things on purpose, like things like that. If you're not treating your friend the way that they should be treated, I consider that a toxic friendship. Toxic lightly, using the word toxic lightly, not a good friendship, basically. And straying away from those, being able to recognize when that's happening in my life and putting the boundary up to either no longer spend time with them or to communicate with them and ask like, hey, what's going on here? Where does this friendship lie? Like, what are we doing? Type of thing. I've been a lot more hyper aware, and I don't really have any of those situations right now in my life, but like, let's say in the past couple of years, I definitely have. In my teenage years, I definitely have. I've been more appreciative and put more effort into the friends that are consistent with me, that fulfill the things that I need out of a friendship, and I fulfill the things that they need out of friendships, and have peacefully created more space between me and the friends where that's not the case. I have people that I'm still friends with, but our relationship has like gone down a couple notches because that's just where it feels better. That's where there's no more conflict. That's where there's no, jealousy or anger or whatever kind of emotion came out of it. And you still have love for them and they still have love for you, but it's not that same level, I pat myself on the back to a certain extent, because it takes a level of maturity to not just like dead a friendship when it's not exactly what you want. You know what I mean? Like, I still love and hold these people very dear to me, but do I need to talk to them every single day? Do I need to hang out with them every single weekend? Do I need to know their innermost depth thoughts? You know, things like that. There's levels to friendships, which I've talked about in certain episodes. There's your core group of people, there's your close friends on the outside, and on the outside there's your friends, and then there's strangers on the outer circle. So it's like moving these friends into the recording space and not having any like negative agenda towards them because of it is a positive thing, I think, that I've grown to do over the years. And I've been able to see my friendships very clearly over the years and work through any issues and stuff calmly and effectively. So yes, I've been a lot more cautious and conscious of toxic friendships, for sure. Okay, this one I'm going to yap about, this next one. The next thing that I have definitely grown out of and no longer participate in is gossiping and drama, engaging in drama. I have a story for this one, which is why I'm excited to talk about this one. So I feel like I so naturally grew out of this one. It just felt as though as I've aged, as people have come and gone out of my life, you know, the people who have created drama, who have created problems, who I've had conflict with are no longer there. So where's my conflict going to come from? Where are my problems going to stem from? For sure, I had the little bickers with my friends, but the drama of it is when it becomes a bigger thing than it is. When people hold on to emotions for years and years and like have anger towards you, or when people are talking about you here, talking about you there, like, you know, there's rumors being spread, like things like that. It's been years since I've had something like that occur in my life, my direct friend group's life, my, you know, anything that's close to me, which so thankful for, honestly. So I think by not associating myself, which is kind of related to the last one, with people who carry drama around or have dramatic tendencies, it's been pretty easy for me to stay away from drama. Now, I wanted to add this one to my list because I had a story, and I don't want this to come across as gossiping right now, because it's not. It's literally, I'm going to be very vague about the story because I don't want people to like know names or anything. But this is an example of what I say that I'm not a part of anymore. And it's just, it blows me away that people are still like this. But I have a friend of mine who recently sent me a screenshot of a DM that she got from a girl who she no longer speaks to. It's like an old friend of a friend type of person, like no one she was close with at all, who had accidentally sent her own old ass Instagram picture to her and said basically really rude shit, something along the lines of her looking ugly, okay? But imagine it like 10 times worse in terms of the words she actually said. And we were all taken aback. She sent it into my friend's group chat and being like, guys, what did I ever do wrong to this girl? Like, why is she talking about me like this? So basically, we can all infer here based off of that she had accidentally sent her mean comment to my friend instead of forwarding it to one of her friends and talking shit on one of her pictures, which, might I add, is an old picture. It's like you had to go onto her Instagram account, scroll down, find the picture, and then send it to your friend. It's not like it was on the feed, which even then doesn't make it any better, but you're that much more of a hater for going and trying to find the picture yourself. Anyways, it turned into a little bit of a thing, but the point in me saying it is, please, for the love of God, do not at your big grown-ass age of 20-something be talking about people who are no longer in your life, first of all, who have nothing to do with you, who didn't even do anything bad to you, and calling them ugly and sending it to your friends and like starting this shit. Because if you're stupid and you actually send it to that person, you're going to be, first of all, making them feel like shit for no freaking reason, which is wild. But then also like making yourself look so bad, like so embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. My point is, do not entertain yourself with the drama of others. Don't get wrapped into the gossip. Like, I'm not talking about like, oh, celebrity gossip, like listening to that type of stuff, because sometimes it can be entertaining. But I'm talking about people's lives. If you're going and speaking about someone where you can make a direct impact on their life, like, think twice. Don't go and ruin someone's day. Don't go and talk about someone behind their back when you know it's going to come and bite you in the ass afterwards. Like, stay away from it, because what else is it other than the most massive waste of time? If you're making a joke, if you're doing something lighthearted, if you know nothing's going to end up hurting the person you're speaking about, whatever. But if you're doing stuff in terms of like, you know, actively hurting another person, or not caring that you're actively hurting another person and just saying whatever the hell you want and like entertaining the drama, entertaining the gossip, like, it's so not necessary. So yeah, definitely ditch that habit. Okay, the next one that I have ditched and that I don't do as often is hoarding or holding on to things, not throwing things away, keeping things for memories. If you're no longer in my life, whatever you gave me, gone. Threw in the garbage, burned it. This also has to do with like clothes. It has to do with, you know, items, things that you just don't need anymore. I do like a yearly and or 6-month cleanse of my clothes, like a deep cleanse. I donate, I sell, I give to people. I think it's therapeutic to get rid of things. I also think we don't always need it and someone else can have a better benefit for it. I also think it helps to organize your space, your environment, feel better, do better, right? I'm going to keep these short and sweet because unfortunately my camera's about to die. So the next two I'm working on for sure. And I've definitely haven't, you know, done completely, but it is something that I'm working on to let go of and get better at. And one of them is prolonging decisions. I don't want to be the person that prolongs decisions anymore. I've definitely done that so many times in my life. Figuring out what I wanted to do in university was the most prolonged / procrastinated decision. I didn't think about it once throughout my whole entire high school life. And then when I did, I rushed the decision and I ended up dropping out of the school that I went to and applying to a new one. So things like that, figuring out what I wanted to do. I just went and trusted that I was going to do YouTube for the rest of my life after, while I was in university and after. And look at me now. I'm working a job, which I'm not mad about, but it would be nice to have started my corporate lifestyle a little earlier on. There's things that I've done in my life that have been super slow, not front of mind decisions, not things that I've put a lot of thought into and have been extremely delayed. And I don't want to do that anymore. That's a habit that I really want to drop. Lastly, but not least, something that I'm working on very hard is not taking criticism too harshly. This goes for the comments that I see from you guys, the things that I see from social media. I aim to take that type of stuff that people say to me as constructive, things that I can work on, things that actually, you know, will benefit me in the future. Someone commented and was like, this doesn't look like 1080p in one of my videos. And I was like, ouch, like, what are you talking about? My quality shit? And then I went and watched the video. I'm like, he's so right. Like, the lighting was shit. Like, the quality was not great. And which is why I'm going to invest in a new camera, and hopefully you guys will see that new camera this season. We'll see. I'm still doing research. But there's things like that. Like, I need to see the comments of others and not take them so to heart. Also, when I receive criticism from friends or from my boyfriend on things that I need to do better, like if I'm not doing the best in terms of communicating, which I normally am, so that was a bad example. But in terms of my attitude, let's say, that's a good one. If I haven't really had the best attitude, if I haven't really been the nicest, like things like that, I need to not take it harshly and be like, oh, well, you haven't been either. Like, just absorb what someone has to say. Don't take it to heart necessarily, but acknowledge it as something that you can possibly improve on. Feedback is definitely a good thing. It's a tool for growth. And that goes for everything that I spoke about today, all of the habits that I have ditched and or are really trying to get rid of. These things will not only benefit you in terms of what will help you with your personal growth, but it will also help you in terms of your relationships. Like I said, it'll help you feel a little bit closer to yourself. Therefore, you're able to communicate better. You're able to acknowledge things that you're doing wrong, acknowledge things that your partner's doing wrong, tell them in a nicer way, right? When it comes to relationships and when it comes to your friendships, you, like I said, are able to reflect on if they're a good person, if they benefit you in your life, etc., etc. So, yeah. Ditching bad habits, looking at habits that you want to change, making the genuine effort to do that. These are all extremely important things. I hope that the habits that I am ditching, some of you guys might take if you haven't already. Comment down below some of the habits that you're ditching so that maybe, you'll give me inspiration on things that I need to leave behind in my 25th year of life. Well, that is all. My camera truly is going to die and I don't want to miss this outro. So I hope you guys have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. Thank you for listening. I feel like I was on such a high energy this episode, so hopefully I didn't scare you guys away. I love you. Subscribe to Between You and Me podcast. Oh my God, I forgot to say, don't forget to send me questions between you and me at gmail.com for future episodes. There weren't any questions that were related to this because these are all pre-recorded, so you guys haven't started asking me many questions yet. But as these episodes come out, which they will soon, I will have them in the episodes. So don't forget to email me any of your questions, comments, concerns, big situations in your life that you're going through, and I will answer them throughout the season. The Instagram is at Between You and Me Podcast, TikTok at Between You and Me Pod, YouTube at Between You and Me Pod. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you in my next episode. Bye.